Okay, today is going to be a bit of a long gym day. So while my car kind of starts up and warms up, that's Spotify, that's not my program. So I did not go to the gym yesterday. On Friday night, I went out with my friends. We had a very good night. We tried to go play pool, but at the Buffalo Billiards in Philly, it was a 3-hour wait for a pool table, so we ended up just drinking, which is not conducive to the gains. And I was very hungover yesterday, and after work, I just didn't feel like going to the gym. So today we're doing leg day number 2, as well as arms and weak points number 2. So we're going to start with leg curls, leg press, Smith machine lunge, machine hip abduction, sissy squat, and standing calf raises. And then after that, I'm going to probably just take a little bit of a break, maybe eat something. They've got some like meals there that look kind of cool at the gym, or maybe just grab a shake. And then we're going to move to arms. We're going to be doing weak point exercise number 1 and 2, which I usually try and put some like shoulders in there. So let's see. For the weak points, going to be doing some machine lateral raises and then some machine shoulder press, which I do like those quite a bit. You know what? No. I'm going to change it up a little bit. Do back. I feel like, I don't know, what are my biggest weak points? No, my shoulders and my glutes are my biggest weak points. And I haven't done I did shoulders on my last arms and weak point, so maybe today I'll do glutes. So machine hip abduction and barbell hip thrust. Okay, yeah, I'm going to start with hip abductors and then hip thrust. And we're going to be moving to cable skull crushers, kneeling overhead cable curl, tricep diverging press down, incline dumbbell stretch curl, and then finishing off with a cable crunch. I still have yet to get a tripod for this camera because I don't want to cheap out this time, so I'm just waiting for my next check to hit, and I had to grab some stuff for the car. I don't know if you noticed this, but in the last video that I made, you could hear my hub bearing quite a lot. It's this driver's rear hub bearing. So I ordered that off Rock Auto. That'll be coming in, and I'm going to be installing that hopefully on Thursday at the end of my work day. If it comes in by then. If not, I'll just have to go in on Friday and do it. But yeah, I don't really think I have much to say. I'm still kind of a little hungover, even 2 days later. So I'll just see you guys in the gym. I just realized that I messed up. I'm sitting here editing the video right now, and I realized because importing the videos from the iPhone to the Mac, things get like switched around. So I was making sure that everything was in the right order, and I realized that I actually did last week's arm day instead of this week's arm day. So I messed that up, which sucks. But at least I did an arm day. Finished up the freaking extensive workout I just did. Let me tell you, by the end there, I was ready to quit. Not quit, just ready to be done. I haven't sweat that much from just the workout in a long time. Like usually I gotta do, I gotta hit the cardio to get this much of a sweat going on. I was really hoping to get some posing in. Unfortunately, there's it's so funny because these two people went to my last gym as well. And I'm somewhat, I bring a camera into the gym. I bring my phone into the gym and I record a lot of my sets. I've only been trying to record one set with my phone instead of multiple sets just because, I don't know, I really don't like recording on my phone all that much. I kind of want my phone. I want to be able to change my music. I want to be able to check Instagram in between sets and whatnot. I don't want to have to be constantly setting up my camera over and over again, if that makes sense. I already had to set up set it up for each exercise. And then I gotta, if I want to fucking check my phone in between sets, I gotta set it up again. No, I'm good. Dude, it got warm out. I don't think it's actually 72, but my car is saying it's 72 outside. Let's see what the weather app is saying. Quick look, 70 degrees. I think I'm gonna take the bike out for a ride, dude. I'm taking the bike out for a freaking ride, bro. I wish I didn't have to do this, honestly, because I want the windows open. I want to check, is the noise canceling on? I hope it is. It is. The noise canceling is on. My hub bearing sounds redonkulous right now, dude. I should have replaced it a while ago. And most mechanics will agree. The last thing you want to do after working on cars all week is work on your own car, dude. I'm not pining to do my own wheel bearing, dude. After like 40 hours, 50 hours, depending, I like to work a lot of overtime. Haven't been doing it much recently because it has been slow. But, after spending my week around cars and everything, the last thing I want to do is really work on my car. But it's getting to a point here, like, at first it was like, 55 to 65. You'd hear it a little bit. Dude, you can hear it at like, I don't know if you guys can hear that, but like as you're turning, it gets worse, and you can now hear it at like 10, 15 mile an hour turns. It's pretty bad. Anyway, like I was saying, I was hoping to get some posing in, but there's these two people. I think they're in a relationship, boyfriend and girlfriend. And like I said, I bring my camera in, I bring my phone in, I do recording. I try to be so very considerate of other people's space and what they're doing. I'm not gonna say I've never been annoyed at someone for like walking in front of my camera or like standing in front of my camera, because even before I recorded, I was always conscious, like if somebody's recording something, I want them to be able to get their shot. If I have to walk through, like there was one time, dude, I remember the way that my old gym was laid out, like it's basically a straight shot from the front door to the bathroom. Like you got to make like a little right turn and then a little left turn, but it's basically a straight shot from the bathroom. I get off work, I have to pee so bad, right? And basically for the walkway to the bathroom, you've got the benches on one side, you've got the walkway, and then you've got machines like right in front of the bench. This guy had hid his camera in between the machines. Probably not hid it. That was probably the best angle for him. But he put his camera in between the machines and recording his bench. And I'm fucking walking through to go to the bathroom because I got to take a piss. And now this guy, again, everybody knew at the gym that he was a problem. I didn't at the time, though. I was still like a new guy there. I walked through, his camera view, and he just fucking starts yelling at me. Mind you, I've got some decent size now. At the time, I was like maybe 19, 20, 170 pounds, and I'm 6'2", so that's a very, very skinny frame for a 6'2" guy, 170 pounds. And this guy's like a roided up fucker, just trying to record a fucking bench set. And, his camera's in a very inconvenient and hidden spot. I walk past it in a public walkway, and he starts fucking freaking out on me. I've never done that. But, there was one time, and this is one of the reasons why I kind of wanted to stop going to the gym I was going to at Tillis, which admittedly is one of the best gyms around. They have some of the best equipment. The community is good for lifting. But when I brought my camera in there, dude, I just would get looks all the time. And especially when I wanted to start going early in the morning before work, that's when I noticed people had a problem with it. People would come up and talk to me about it and be like, I remember there was the one video I made where the guy made the comment about the Charlie Kirk thing with this microphone. It was like, what even is that? I didn't even like Charlie Kirk. I thought that guy was a bad person. But I'm not gonna make a comment to a complete stranger. Of course, there's memes. I send the Charlie Kirk memes to my close friends. But if someone and I did mess this up once, dude. I said, there's a picture of Charlie Kirk's face on George Floyd's body. And it's been made to appear so that Charlie Kirk's face has African-American skin tone. I sent that to a group chat of close friends of mine that I know are very right-leaning. I literally, after 5 minutes, I was like, I was expecting a louder response than this. Nothing. They had said nothing. So I checked it. I got kicked from the group chat. Not a word. It said it was the picture I sent, and then under that it said Jesse has left the group chat. I didn't fucking leave that shit. Somebody fucking kicked me. Somebody kicked me from that fucking group chat. I know who it is too. I know who it was too. I'm never gonna say nothing to them about it, but I know who the fuck it was. Anyway, I would always try to be very considerate of other people's surroundings. And sometimes at Tillis, people would. It was very obvious that they were purposely getting in the way of my camera so that I couldn't record. But again, I never did anything. I would just wait. I'd record their ass. And when I'm not saying oh yeah, I'm recording their ass. No, they would straight up walk in my frame, and their butt would be the only thing recording, and I would just wait for them to move to do my set. You know, whatever. But again, still, I was very conscious of everybody around me. Now, these two people at the gym, they're not conscious of anybody around them. They will get in your way. If you're doing an exercise, they'll get in your way to get their recording done. Or like, you know, they went into the posing room. They were in there for probably 20 minutes. Dude, what are you doing for 20 minutes? What are you, like... And if you're... Okay, look, dude, if you're Nick Walker, a guy who... I think he moved back to Jersey recently and actually used to go to Attilas. If you're Nick Walker and you're about to do a show, yeah, okay, you need to practice. But one, you're probably going to be doing that at home. And two, this guy's not Nick Walker. I'm bigger than this fucking guy. Why are you in the posing room for 20 minutes? That's not necessary. That's not necessary. I finished up my last two exercises when I saw him go in, and I was like, okay, cool. I'll just go up, grab a shake, which I did, and then by the time I'm done my shake, this guy will be done in the posing room. Nope. For two exercises that I did, the time that I took to, you know, clean up my exercise machine, walk over to the front desk, ask for a shake, because I haven't gotten a shake from this gym yet. I really wanted a shake. And the guy was like, yeah, it's open. Come on, dude. You're pouring 15 ounces of almond milk, 1 scoop of protein, and a banana into a blender and blending it. Like, this isn't a huge annoyance to you. Anyway, after all that, the guy's still not done in the posing room. So I sit there, start scrolling, and I finished my shake. I drank my whole shake. The guy's not done in the posing room. So, scrolling on my phone, like, all right. Now, you know, I just been in the gym for 2 hours, a little bit over 2 hours, doing my 2 exercise days, you know, legs and arms. And I was like, you know, I just want to go home. My posing routine today may have taken 10 minutes because I was doing legs and upper body because I did legs and arms. But normally, dude, when I hit the one muscle group, bro, I'm in there 5-6 minutes max. 5-6 minutes max. I'm not a professional. I'm not doing competition. Like, I don't know. All this being said, I'm considering getting some mirrors for my house to do some posing myself. And that's pretty much it. But yeah, I was freaking cooked, dude. Like, absolutely cooked by that last tricep exercise. I was supposed to do cable crunches as well, but one, I was tired, and two, I'm still sore from the ab workout that I did, the rollers I did on Friday. That shit was crazy, dude. I'm sore as heck. You know who I've been watching recently? And he's a guy that, like, I got back into it. I got back into him when I bought my MacBook. So I was like, I got my MacBook on like Friday. Yeah, so today's Sunday. So like, I've been watching it the past 2 days. I watched him in high school a lot. MKBHD, he's a tech channel. Marquise, it's either Marcus or Marquise Brownlee. It's cool, like, seeing someone like him. It's an inspiration to me because, you know, he wasn't small when I was watching him in I probably started watching him in middle school. I got out of high school in 2016, so I was probably watching him 2012, 2013, 2014 was when I first, you know, like, started watching him. Like, Unbox Therapy, Marquise Brownlee, Casey Neistat. Like, I was never, well, one, you know, I wasn't allowed onto YouTube until a lot later than, like, most of my friends. I wasn't allowed on YouTube until middle school. It was the kind of thing where it was like, I wasn't allowed on YouTube, and then my parents just kind of stopped monitoring the media that I was intaking so much, so eventually I just started getting on YouTube. So I, you know, like, when you're younger and you start watching, and don't get me wrong, I love Markiplier, I love Jacksepticeye, I love PewDiePie. I think they're great creators, and I love Markiplier's like 3 indie horror game series. I do, not so much anymore. I was keeping up with that like pretty consistently for a long time, but like all my friends, like, they were consistently watching like channels like that, like FaZe Clan, like video game stuff. I really wasn't like, it's not that I hated it, it's just not what piqued my interest. I was always watching like the tech channels. Like Unbox Therapy, one of my favorite channels of all time. Marquise Brownlee is really cool, and he's a cool inspiration to see. Like, he's just a kid. I mean, albeit I looked up where he grew up. He grew up in a pretty affluent area, but still, he grew this tech channel from nothing. And I was watching, he now runs like 4 channels, or he has a company that runs 4 channels. And one of the channels filmed their whole thing for like a year, like an episode of The Office. And like, he was doing it all by himself until like 2017. Like, that's impressive. That he was doing everything himself. I mean, in my head, 2017 is 3 years ago. 2017 is almost a decade ago. But like, that's very impressive that he did that all by himself. Like, that's crazy, and it inspires me to really try and do this by myself. And, like, my parents might not have as much money as his did. I didn't grow up in a quite nice enough area, but we're both Jersey born. We're both Jersey boys. And I'll tell you what, I might not have I might not come from the kind of money that he does, but you look at the fucking setup I have. I'm sure it's a trillion with this Sony camera, with my 14 Pro Max, with my brand new MacBook. I'm sure that I have a billion times better editing capability than him. So at this point, or than he did when he started. So at this point, it's really just up to how creative do I want to get? How dedicated am I going to be to growing my own channel? And, I do like gym content. That's like what I'm so passionate about. But I would also like to be like a daily vlogger. I would love to like travel vlogging. That sounds flippin' awesome. Like, I'd love to go to different countries. Like, I'd love to go, like, kind of like Casey Neistat. I feel like he does a lot of like day in the life, also with tech. Like, one of my favorite videos from him was when he did the electronic skateboard. That was a great one. He was just like riding around. I think it was New York City. Again, I haven't watched Casey really since high school, and I only started watching MKBHD again because I got all this new tech, and he's like, I'd say he's probably the best tech channel. Like, I feel like Unbox Therapy, I enjoy that a lot. And maybe even I enjoy it more than MKBHD, because I did watch that more consistently than I did Marquise. But like, Marquise I feel like he's always talking about how he spent like a month or 2 using this product or that product or whatever. I feel like the stuff that he does, like, he uses consistently, because one, I'm thinking about it now, he does tech reviews mainly on things that like he would use: laptops, cameras, phones. Unbox Therapy, dude, like, they're getting like crazy things, they're getting like crazy experimental technology sent to them, and so a lot of that stuff isn't like really practical to use day to day. So Unbox Therapy is kind of just like, okay, here's what's latest and greatest, whereas Marquise Brownlee or MKBHD, he's like, okay, here's all 8 million smartphones that released in 2026, and if your whole thing is photography, oh my gosh, yo, hold up, yo, woo. Sorry, had to get that in there. But like, he uses, what was I saying? Shoot, MKBHD, he'll be like, okay, yeah, here's every smartphone that was released in 2026. If you're a photographer, this is what you want. If you're a videographer, this is what you want. If you prefer customization, this is what you want. If you do this, this is what you want. Here's the overall best iPhone, and it's usually, I feel like it's probably usually the iPhone, or best smartphone, I mean. And I feel like it usually does end up being the iPhone. But nevertheless, I'm back at the crib. Of course there's a freaking car making it so that, oh, they actually did leave me enough room. Why the fuck is there a Honda from Wisconsin here, dude? Okay. All right. Just make sure I'm not touching them. Something that really annoys me, in front of my house, right, there is just enough room for 2 cars to park. And if it's not me and my brother parking out front, because my mom always takes the driveway, nobody ever leaves enough room for the other person to park. So, fuck this Wisconsin Honda CRV. What the fuck are you even doing here? Go back to Wisconsin, bro. Anyway, that's my rant for the day. I'll see you guys on the flip.